Damage number 1 is one of the best annuals I've read in quite some time. It gives us some deep lore into Ethan, Colonel Jonas, the Damage Project itself, other Damage-like projects that have happened, and it just does a really great job. It's not... You don't need to read it in order to understand the main Damage storyline, but if you're interested in any way, shape, or form about Damage, which you should be because it's one of the better books out there, you're going to really like this. Veneditti is low-key one of the best writers in comics right now. He's also writing Exo Manowar, which speaks for itself. He just came off great runs. He's doing fantastic. His books are always consistently good. He's never... I can't think of a bad book that he's written, to be honest. Whenever I see his name on a book, I know it's going to be good. At the very least, it's going to be good. So, Veneditti, low-key, just great. This story takes place in the past. We were looking at one of his missions that he doesn't realize is important at the time, but Colonel Jonas definitely knows it's important. And we see this tug and pull war between Ethan and the damaged creature going on in his brain. We get a little insight into Colonel Jonas, which I found interesting. And we get a little insight into the Damage Project and the iterations that it's gone through. The mission itself has Ethan going to this other country and looking for the scientist that has absconded with Dr. Vest, who is the creator of the Damage Project's research. And he is now creating his own three damage projects, so to speak. So he goes there, and his mission obviously is to destroy it, which he does handily. But then something very interesting happens at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, because I do think that you guys should read this and support Veneditti at the very least. The big thing I liked about this is they do not pull any punches with the violence in this, but I don't think they curse once in this, which I liked, because what I noticed, especially from Marvel, especially from West Coast Avengers, that they seem to use cursing as a crutch. They just throw in random curse words, most writers, to signify, hey, this is a mature book, instead of having the content actually be mature. In this case, no. The content itself is mature. We're dealing with very, very shades of grayness, although, let's be honest, Colonel Jonas and Ethan are still the good guys here. But even Colonel Jonas, her intentions aren't pure in the very least. And even though she really cares about her soldiers, she cares about them only in so much that it furthers the military's agenda. She is very much married to the military, and you kind of see that she really acts like a devoted wife to the military, which I think is a very interesting characterization for her. So we get Damage going in there, and we get interspersed in this story flashbacks, two big flashbacks. The first one of Ethan being sent on this mission, and him and Colonel Jonas have a heart-to-heart, where Colonel Jonas basically tells him there were a lot of others like you. None of them worked. You're the only one to have made it. You're the only one to survive. You're very important. And then we kind of see that that's not really the case. It's just that they want to make sure that they finally succeeded to create walking warfare, as she says, and they want to make sure that it continues. The second flashback that occurs is when Ethan joins the Damage Project. So we learn a little bit about Colonel Jonas's background. We learn that she's half Irish, half Puerto Rican, which should surprise absolutely fucking from Chicago, which should surprise absolutely fucking no one. But at the end of the day, that's the only time she ever brings it up. And she never brings up anything else like that. And in the past 8 issues, she hasn't brought up that at all. So, fine, whatever, we'll deal with it. We discover why she has white people hair and yet she's brown. So that was interesting. But yeah. So this is the doctor who stole his stuff. Look at that. Half of the book is devoted to just this fight. There's no text, it's just them fighting. And it's so good. I want to get that splash page that I love with the reveal of the other creatures. It was really good. Here it is. Oh man! So some crazy stuff happens at the end. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but you should go out and definitely read this. It's very good. Like I said, it's one of the best annuals. I don't think Suicide Squad's gonna be anywhere near as good. Where's my Colin Bunn? Where's Bunn? There it is. But this was fantastic. Heroes in Crisis, I have no idea about it, but yeah, this was so good. Very brutal. Just a very brutal knockdown fight. That's what you want. I paid $5. I paid a little less than $5. But that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Damage mess people up. The only thing I didn't like was the cover. I thought the cover was weak. It's well drawn, but and I have this problem with comics in general. I like my covers to have something to do with the actual story inside. And I guess you can say that the tug and pull war, the yeah, it's the tug of war between Ethan and Damage is signified in this. But that was, honestly, that was a small part. It should have been something. I could think of three other good concepts for a cover that would have fit this annual. But I guess they wanted to keep the reveal that there were other damaged creatures there. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys pick up the annual? Between this and the Suicide Squad annual, which is better? I'm going to read this next. You can follow me at Trajan Channel on Twitter, where I shitpost and get into it with people. And Brian Edward Hill, writer of Detective Comics, likes my posts, so I find that very interesting. I'll catch you guys later. He looks scared.